Life has a lot of humor.
So Della, you've had a recent challenge that was thrown by life to you in terms of facing a cancer diagnostic.
Yeah.
And I was wondering whether you could just talk to us about that, how that was for you, you know, how you lived that. Because for most people, that brings up all the fears and all the, you know, the little one strategies to try and cope and stay safe and stay, you know, take care.
Mm. Yeah. Well, you know, when I had the diagnostic 3 weeks ago, um, of course, I was kind of in shock, surprised. Um, but then gradually and quite rapidly, what came was a beautiful gratitude for what was happening, you know, because it felt like the little one was really talking in a very radical way to me. So I felt really so much gratitude for this need to stop and listen, you know. Uh, we're, we're in our lives and we do our things, and it's easy to become automatically involved in all those kinds of things. And when this happened, it was really for me an invitation to stop and to listen from an even more intimate place than where I was. So it was it was a beautiful invitation for me to go with that and to go in the flow of that. You know, the minute you have the diagnostic, there can be fear and you know, but for me it was more like the simple reality of what was there. You know, it's that's reality. There's something there that needs to be attended to. That's all. So so life has brought me that, and uh, I'll do what has to be cared of, like everything else we do all the time. And you know, I'll see how it goes step by step. It's a step in the unknown, but it's we do that all the time. We just don't know that we're stepping in the unknown all the time.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's an interesting surprise, I would say. Yeah.
And it just occurred to me that, you know, anything that brings up fear for people, obviously, you know, kind of motivates the little one to go into its strategies of taking care of things, right? So the more fearful a situation is, or the more fear a situation provokes, and cancer still has that power because, you know, the moment we hear cancer, we think of a fatal disease, you know, something that can potentially kill us. So that brings up the most powerful strategies of the little one and the most powerful coping, you know, coping mechanisms, whatever. But it doesn't have to be cancer. I mean, it can be any situation that's experienced as threatening.
Sure. Sure. And you know, there's this fear of death or this fear of suffering, and but reality is that we're human beings and that we are going to die. And that's is something that we avoid all the time, and the little one avoids it all the time. But coming back to our true nature, to a space of being, you know, being never dies. There's nothing to be afraid of, because it's here. It's one. It's eternal. It's always here. You know. So it's really interesting. The path towards awakening is kind of facing death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's facing that of the idea of who we think we are, and coming back home.
Mm.
So all those, you know, diagnostic and you know, tragedies is always, for me, an invitation to come back to the eternal, and to come back to this space where there's nothing to fear. You know, it's all expressions, you know, of inviting the little one to come back home and relax, you know, and enjoy vacation. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. You know, Della, I just love to enjoy the vacation. And there's nothing much more to be said.
That's true.
And at the same time, I'm very aware of having this role here as the one that you know, somehow keeps the conversation going.
Hmm.
So Della, as I'm here on holiday, um, there's one more question that comes to me that I did want to ask you.
Yeah.
Which is, I know you offer also, and I think that may be interesting to people because most spiritual teachers don't actually offer that, not spiritual teachers in the non-dual tradition, at any rate. You offer healing circles.
Hmm.
And I was just wondering whether you could tell people a little bit about what that is and what you do in those circles.
Hmm.
What's the offering in that offering?
Okay. Healing circles is for me a gift of giving and receiving, which is done in groups. And the idea of this giving and receiving is from this space, is from this space letting the energy, or letting uh, the space of no intention
Mm-hmm.
do what it has to be done. And so it's a from a very loving place, um, just being available, creating the energy in the group to make more space, you know, just to open the heart. And because there are many ways to open the heart, you know, there's the intention, with a clear intention. There's really an option just to come back home, but also there's energetic ways to open the energy there, and liberating things that just is in the way. So it just happened, you know, it started quite rapidly after what happened to me to offer energetic healings,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has become something like a group thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is really beautiful, and it just opens from another way of it's another way of healing, but it's a beautiful way also to open more to space, to silence, to love, because there is so much love in our intimacy, so much, and this we're just protecting ourselves from this love, but in a secure environment and in a secure group, that is just so beautiful, the opening that can happen there. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the invitation to recognize that this love is coming from inside, from not from the other bringing something, but just being safe enough to recognize that it comes from inside. It's already there, and we don't need to protect ourselves from this love anymore. It's just already there. And uh, yeah, healing is just letting go of all this armor we have to protect ourselves from who we are. And that's the idea of those healing circles. It's just to go and create this space to
Mm-hmm.
let it flow. This,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
mm,